It's probably nothing, but there's over 5,000 cases globally where someone sees something in the sky that they cannot explain. Reported and documented. Not a distant star or an airplane, something else. A light, a shape, something that moves in ways that don't seem possible. And sometimes they get it on camera. It's 1996. For most of us, the internet was still a new thing. The modem screams its siren song. You're online, you open a browser, you log into your Hotmail account. You've got a mail. There's a video attachment. You think, this better be worth it. Bandwidth is a real concern. You open the video, and you watch in disbelief. In the video, a glowing object moves over a field. Moments later, a crop circle appears beneath it. It's as if the craft had created it. The footage was filmed near Oliver's Castle in England. The video spreads quickly. It's convincing. For a while. It didn't hold up when investigators reviewed it. Compression artifacts, frame inconsistencies, signs the video had been digitally altered. Today, the footage is widely believed to be a hoax. 1996 was different, though. Digital effects, especially convincing ones on consumer computers, were rare. It's known as the Oliver's Castle crop circle video. Some are not as readily dismissed, though. For 2 years, between 2007 and 2009, a night watchman in Turkey recorded a series of strange objects hovering over the Sea of Marmara. It looks like a metal craft. It genuinely looks like there's occupants inside. The recordings became known as the Cumbergus UFO sightings. It could be a distant ship or reflection from a boat structure, a Fata Morgana maybe. But even after years of analysis, that footage still sparks debate. And then there are cases that didn't start on the internet. In 2004, US Navy pilots training off the coast of California encountered something unusual. An object shaped like a smooth white capsule. No wings, no visible propulsion. It moved erratically, accelerating, stopping, changing directions in ways that seemed to defy the limits of a conventional aircraft. The encounter was tracked by radar, observed by multiple pilots, and recorded by military sensors. The object became known as USS Nimitz Tic Tac encounter, and unlike most UFO videos online, this one wasn't filmed by a hobbyist with a camcorder. It came from the cockpit of a fighter jet. So what are we looking at? Hoaxes? Misidentified aircraft? Camera artifacts? Maybe a mix? There are patterns though, in all of these. Those patterns though, they're not necessarily in the objects, it's in the footage. Most UFO videos share the same problems. They're distant, poorly lit, heavily zoomed, filmed in fog, through clouds, through thick atmosphere, and that is really important because cameras are terrible at recording distant objects in the sky, especially small ones. A light that looks like it's darting across the sky might not be moving much at all. It might just be very far away, and when something's far enough away, even small movements can look dramatic. A camera zooms in, the image shakes slightly, the object appears to zigzag, accelerate, stop instantly. Often that is the camera moving, not the object. Then there's the atmosphere. There's a lot of it, and it's between the camera and whatever is in the sky. There might be kilometers of air, heat, moisture, wind. That stuff can bend and distort light. Ask your local astronomer about that. Just bring a beer too when you do, because you're going to be there for a while. Stars appear to twinkle because the atmosphere is shifting the light as it reaches us. Now imagine trying to film something small over the ocean at night with a consumer camera. Add enough zoom and the distortions become extreme. Lights stretch, shapes blur, reflections, heat distortion, and suddenly something ordinary can start to look very strange. Plus, we are ridiculously good at pattern recognition, even when nothing is there. I've talked about pareidolia a lot here, but a cluster of lights becomes a craft. A reflection becomes a cockpit window. A shadow becomes a pilot. Most people aren't lying. They're describing exactly what they saw, which isn't always what was actually there. That really does explain a lot of UFO footage. Objects that turn out to be an aircraft, weather balloon, drones, camera artifacts, lights that turn out to be satellites. I actually fell into that last trap myself. The first time I saw a Starlink satellite train, I was genuinely confused until I Googled it. But that doesn't explain everything. Every now and then, something shows up in the sky, and it doesn't behave. At least not in any way we'd expect. Objects tracked on radar, seen by trained observers, recorded by multiple sensors at the same time. That is hard to dismiss. In 2004, US Navy pilots training off the coast of California encountered something unusual, an object shaped like a smooth white capsule. No wings, no rotors, no visible propulsion. Commander David Fravor described it as looking like a white tic-tac, roughly 40 feet long, about the size of a small aircraft, but without the aircraft parts. It was moving erratically above the ocean. The object accelerated, stopped abruptly, changed direction, and then disappeared. Not gradually, instantly. Radar operators had already been tracking the object for days, dropping from high altitude to near sea level in seconds, then hovering, then moving again. Eventually, the encounter was recorded by targeted sensors aboard a Navy fighter jet. The footage became known as USS Nimitz Tic Tac encounter, and unlike most UFO videos, this one didn't come from a hobbyist camera. It came from military equipment, officially released by the US Department of Defense. And the US government is not alone in taking this seriously. Dozens of countries, including the US, France, Canada, Brazil, and Chile, have officially released formerly confidential UFO records. Governments are trying to understand these encounters just as much as we are. Encounters like this are now often described using a different term, UAP, unidentified aerial phenomenon. It's a subtle shift in language, but an important one, because unidentified doesn't mean extraterrestrial. It just means we don't know what it was. And sometimes the honest answer really is, we just don't know. That's kind of the point. We don't know. I've had a fascination with UFOs and aliens my entire life. One of the first things I did when I got my first camera was waste an entire roll of film, faking UFO photos, with varying degrees of success. But I've always looked up to the sky, not for answers, for questions. I've misidentified things myself, and I've seen a light I couldn't explain. A lot of people have. I won't jump to conclusions. Most things have explanations. Sometimes we just don't have the vocabulary yet. The science fiction writer Arthur C. Clarke once said, "Any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic." Most UFO sightings turn out to be misidentifications, or hoaxes, but about 3% remain unexplained. And that's not a small number. What are they? New atmospheric phenomena? Experimental aircraft? Something we just haven't discovered yet? Aliens? Maybe. I'm going to keep looking at the sky. UFOs are not. The awe and the wonder is real. And that's something. I just wanted to give a quick thank you to anybody who watched the video. There are other cool videos in the channel. You know how to get there. The other thing is the channel name is going to be changing soon, and yeah, you basically know what to do. Once again, we're aiming for every other Sunday at about 7 o'clock, and that's kind of a rough timeline. But here we go. Let's give it a try.